Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Curse of Oak Island, Gary Drayton on shows misleading editing. Fans who watch shows like The Curse of Oak Island often see things happening that confuse them. When it comes to the confusion, it is all about the editing of the show. While it is supposed to help tighten things up, Gary Drayton admits that it is misleading at times. Here's what happened when the team found some pottery that confused fans and what Gary said about it. Curse of Oak Island fans confused about pottery discovery. On the last episode of The Curse of Oak Island, Gary Drayton was out with his metal detector looking for treasure. What he found was some pottery that had the team excited. There was one problem. A metal detector finds metal. How did it locate the hidden pottery? That bugged fans chatting about the show on Reddit, and one fan started a thread asking how this was possible. The top response simply explained that the metal he detected wasn't shown in the episode. Instead, they showed the pottery he found while digging for the gold. This brought a lot of people into the conversation about how the show doesn't seem to show everything and edits things together in a confusing manner. Why would the episode emphasize that Gary was out with his metal detector and then show him finding pottery without an explanation? One Redditor wrote, "I think the show did a poor job at editing that scene and not explaining well enough what led them to the pottery find. They figured that whatever metal he found was insignificant and therefore not needed on the show. That still made the entire scene confusing." Gary Drayton chimes in on the editing of Curse of Oak Island. Another Redditor mentioned that Gary Drayton responded to the moment shown in the series. When someone asked about how a metal detector found the pottery, Gary said that it was the editing that made it so confusing. He emphasized that metal detectors can't detect pottery, and instead, it had found some metal bits. This is something that happens a lot in reality shows like The Curse of Oak Island. There was a similar moment in last week's episode of Gold Rush. In that episode, Tony Beats found a tusk belonging to a woolly mammoth from over 30,000 years ago. However, fans seemed confused at how he found it. The truth is that they found it while working in the field, but there were no cameras when it happened. As a result, they went back and refilmed the entire moment of discovering it to add to the series. On Curse of Oak Island, they had cameras on hand, but edited out the metal found and cut straight to the pottery to speed things up. What do you think about the editing on shows like The Curse of Oak Island? Does it take you out of the realism of the series, or does it help speed things up for you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Gary Drayton, the charismatic metal detecting expert on the hit TV show The Curse of Oak Island, has been a beloved figure for fans. His infectious enthusiasm and unparalleled expertise have brought many a buried treasure to light, literally. However, in a candid interview, Gary opened up about his frustrations with the show's editing process, which he believes often misleads viewers and oversimplifies the complex work involved in unearthing Oak Island's mysteries. "I love being a part of this incredible journey," Gary began, his thick British accent adding a touch of gravitas to his words. "But there are times when the way things are edited for television doesn't quite capture the reality of what we do out there." One of Gary's primary concerns is how the show tends to create a sense of immediate discovery, where in reality, the process can be painstakingly slow and methodical. "People see me swinging the detector, it beeps, and suddenly we're pulling out some ancient artifact," he said with a wry smile. "But what they don't show you is the hours, sometimes days, of digging through dirt and rocks, checking and rechecking signals, and often finding nothing but rusty nails or scrap metal." Gary emphasized that the thrill of discovery is very real, but it's often preceded by long periods of monotonous and meticulous work. It's a lot of trial and error. We spend a lot of time analyzing the ground, understanding the terrain, and making educated guesses based on historical records and previous finds. The show sometimes skips over that, making it look like we're stumbling upon treasures left and right. Another aspect Gary touched on was the selective presentation of finds. Not everything we dig up makes it to the final cut, he explained. There are so many interesting items we uncover that might not be directly related to the treasure, but are still significant. Historical artifacts that tell us more about the people who lived and worked on the island over the centuries. Unfortunately, if it doesn't fit the treasure narrative, it often gets left out. Gary also pointed out that the editing can sometimes exaggerate the significance of certain discoveries. There have been moments when we find something, and the way it's presented makes it seem like we're on the verge of finding the treasure. But in reality, it's just another piece of the puzzle, not the final answer. It's important to manage expectations. The real treasure, in many ways, is that historical knowledge we're gaining about the island and its past. Despite these frustrations, Gary is quick to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of the entire production team. I understand the need to create a compelling narrative. After all, it's a television show, and it needs to keep viewers engaged. The producers and editors have a tough job trying to condense weeks of work into an hour-long episode. But sometimes that means the true essence of what we're doing gets a bit lost. Gary's insights shed light on the broader issue of how reality TV can sometimes distort reality to fit a specific storyline or to heighten drama. While The Curse of Oak Island has brought renewed interest and excitement to the centuries-old mystery, it's important for fans to remember that what they see on screen is just a fraction of the entire story. There's a real magic to Oak Island, Gary mused. It's a place steeped in history and legend. Being a part of this quest is incredibly rewarding, not just because of the potential for treasure, but because of what we learn along the way. Every find, no matter how small, adds a piece to the puzzle. And that's something the show doesn't always convey. The joy of discovery, no matter how big or small. Gary also hopes that viewers will appreciate the scientific and historical rigor that goes into the search. It's not just about treasure hunting. We're using advanced technology, collaborating with historians and archaeologists, and piecing together centuries-old clues. It's a multidisciplinary effort that requires patience and precision. That's what makes it so fascinating, and that's what I wish people could see more of. As the interview wrapped up, Gary's passion for his work shone through. At the end of the day, I'm grateful to be a part of this journey. Oak Island is a place like no other, and being able to contribute to uncovering its secrets is a dream come true. I just hope that viewers understand that what they see on TV is just a glimpse of the real adventure. The true story is far richer and more complex than any edit could capture. Gary Drayton's candid reflections offer a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the world of The Curse of Oak Island, reminding us that the path to discovery is often winding and filled with unexpected challenges. It's a journey driven by passion, perseverance, and a deep respect for history. A journey that, despite the show's dramatic flair, is grounded in the genuine quest for knowledge and truth.